Greetings. I'm Edward Montgomery, president of Western Michigan University, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to this year's International Festival. This event began over 30 years ago, long before the advent of our digitally connected world. As it has from its inception, this year's festival celebrates the beauty and diversity that exists in the people and cultures that are found around our globe and represented right here on our campus. At Western, we're deeply proud of the international students, faculty, and staff who choose to work and study on our campus, and by doing so, enrich our community. The International Festival gives us an opportunity to have fun and celebrate food, arts, and entertainment, but it also offers us something that is deeply needed at this time, the ability to connect with people from different nations, learn about what makes them unique, and also discover those shared human traits that are constant amongst us all. And while technology may provide us with a window into any nation in the world with a couple of keyboard clicks, the essence of what makes International Festival special is encompassed in this year's theme, Keeping Us Connected. It is true that living in this digital world has enabled us to broaden our reach, something we discovered over the course of the past year. But it's our uniquely human connections that resonates most deeply within us. I encourage you to take full advantage of the complete range of exceptional offerings to learn more about the world and the numerous ways that our mutual desire to create and share our traditions contributes to keeping us connected. Have a wonderful time, and we hope to welcome you back in person in 2022.
Welcome to the first night of the 2021 International Festival, virtual style. Since its first year in 1989, the International Festival has been a staple in the WMU Kalamazoo and Southwest Michigan communities. It has given us the chance to experience food, fashion, music, and dancing from around the world through one evening at the WMU campus. This has been a difficult year for all of us, but one thing this past year has taught us is that it is important that we know how to work together with people across cultures and borders to solve complex issues. What we do at the Haneke Institute for Global Education to promote, drive, and facilitate global engagement has never been more important in building the intercultural competence of our students and community. The theme of this year's festival is Keeping Us Connected and focuses on three topics that are universally important to all of us: what we eat, what we wear, and how to have fun. Tonight we'll feature video submissions from our international and cultural student groups that focus on food, showcasing a traditional dish, recipe, or other culinary components. It will also stimulate conversation about the importance of food in culture. Food, what we eat, how we eat it, and who you eat it with is a significant part of every individual's definition of who they are and where they come from. Enjoy tonight's programming as we celebrate the cultural diversity of our campus and hopefully get some new recipe ideas. Make sure to stick around so that you can vote for your favorite video submission at the end of the night. Thank you.
Hello, the world. My name is Matthew Bracey. I'm a staff member here at Western Michigan University, and I am super excited for International Festival this year. I work with the Fall Welcome program, and I used to be a student here at Western, and I worked with the International Festival back then as well. And so super excited for tonight.
You would think after a year of virtual life I could quickly unmute, but I still can't. Hi, everybody. I'm Dalia Sanchez. I am an undergraduate student at WMU. I'm double majoring in political science and environmental and sustainability studies with a minor in biology because I couldn't make up my mind. um, but I am also the VP for Diversity and Inclusion for your student government, the Western Student Association. So if you're looking to get involved, please reach out. But I am super excited to be here tonight with you guys for our very first ever virtual international festival. But here we go. This international festival, we are doing a virtual, version, but International Festival is a chance for the WMU international and cultural student organizations to win some programming funding. You will be able to vote, and your votes will count towards a scoring process. So we will all vote at basically like the end ish time of the total 15 minutes at the end. And your scores will then be added to judges' scores, who then will determine the winning group who will win all this funding. And the judges will then assign their scores based on creativity, flow, and engagement.
Hello, everyone. My name is Bassel Saleh, WMU graduate and Saudi Arabia liaison officer in Western Michigan University. I'm very excited to this is the first time for virtual International Festival Day, and start the listing of the student organizations that do this International Festival Day. It's in the Indian Student Association and the Indonesian Student Association, Korean Student Organization, Latino Student Alliance, and Nepali Students Association, Romani Students Association, Virginia Students Organization, Taiwanese Students Association. And think about the food in the International Festival Day, guys.
Yeah, okay. I think we should talk about food tonight because everybody loves food, right? Am I right? Nobody loves food? Come on, guys.
I mean, who doesn't?
Well,
Especially at International Festival. If you were ever able to attend in person, it was amazing being able to go from RSO to RSO and them having all different types of food. It's such a unique experience.
yes, I definitely agree. I would argue and say that that's almost the only reason to go to International Festival, but we all know that that's not true. Basil, what about you? Are you excited?
Well, I wish the International Festival date was in the face to face, but with the pandemic in this year, we couldn't do that. So I'm really was not happy for that, but we have to do that in the virtual also and show people how the different cultures how to identify themselves.
Yeah, food is so important to culture. We actually asked one of our professors from the for Intercultural and Anthropological Studies to discuss some of the importance of food and culture. So this is what he had to say.
Well, first of all, I would like to start by saying that food is a basic biological necessity, right? Because no matter what culture we are from, we eat, everybody needs food in order to survive. So in that sense, food is something that links us all as human beings, no matter what culture we are from, right? We like to think of food as part of our personal identity. We also like to look at food as a personal and private matter in terms of because the food that we eat, we might think it's based on our preference, it's based on our taste, right? But food is actually more socially determined that we might believe, right? So food has a social meaning because of the fact that the range of choice and the range of choice of food that we have in a given society is actually determined by that society in which we live. So for example, in America, we know that, okay, you can have pizza readily available to you. We can have pretzels, or ice cones, right, available to us in this country. But for example, if you went to Africa, to West Africa, for example, a typical food would be rice, or a typical snack can be grasshoppers, for example, right? Or if you were to go to China, crickets, grasshoppers, or even squids on a stick might be the available and desirable snack, right? So in that sense, food, our culture determines the kind of food choices that are available to us, although food is at the same time personal and private. I believe that it's offensive to say to somebody that you think that what they are eating is gross, because it's not only insensitive, but also disrespectful and offensive to that person's personal choice or personal taste. And also to that person's culture, because in that person's culture, what it is that they're eating might be the most desirable, the most tasteful, and the most readily available food. Right? So just because you come from a different culture where you've never eaten such a thing, or you've never even seen such a thing, does not mean that it's disgusting or that it's gross, right? And I think saying that also translate an idea of being closed-minded, right? Not being open-minded to learning about different cultures, right? And thinking that your culture and your food preferences take precedence or are better than that of this other person whose food you are putting a personal judgment on. I love to cook. I cook all the time. So for example, in my culture, when we cook, we don't measure. For example, here when I came to the US, right, you have measuring cups, and I mean, it's easy because even if you don't know a recipe, you can look it up and just follow, right? Follow the recipe, follow the the measurements of different ingredients, and it can come out, just as, correctly, right? But the way I grew up and the way I was taught to cook, I don't measure anything. It's like I already know, because I've done it several times. I don't need to use a cup to measure. I can just tell what is the right, measurements for this ingredient or for that ingredient, and I just cook that way. So in that sense, culture plays a role, because coming from a culture where we don't use measuring cups to measure the amount of ingredients that we add, but we just go by just like touch or knowledge, just intuition, if you will, right? But in other cultures, like in the Western cultures, you have to measure, right? And you have to make sure that you put the right measurement of whatever ingredient you're using, or it might not come out right? So in that sense, I see the difference. I see how culture plays into the ritual of cooking, or how you cook, for example. So food both demonstrates that we are different and similar at the same time, because of the fact that we have intermingled, right? And shared cultures and food and experiences going back to centuries. We have borrowed from each other, right? We have borrowed the way we cook from each other. We have borrowed the way we eat from each other. And America is an example of that diversity that we see in the food, in the dishes that we eat, in the number of restaurants, in the variety of restaurants that represent the different nationalities of people who exist in this country. But food is really the best way, culturally speaking, to bring people who are different together, right? It brings forth our humanity, right? And our similarity, right? Because through food, you don't even need to speak. It's something you taste, right? It's a palatable experience. And that experience has no borders. That experience has no division, no separation. We all experience it because we are humans, because we have a sense of taste, because we have a sense of smell, right? Those are things that, are part of our humanity, right? So that is an important thing to remember, especially in the context of an international festival where food and culture are center stage, because the goal is to bring us together, is to say that despite the fact that we might come from different continents, that we might come from different countries, that we might come from different cultures, we are really the same, right? Because we can go on this experience together as one, right? And experience the same feelings, the same emotions as we exchange food from each other's cultures.
Well, that was really nice to hear. I always love hearing about other cultures. I'm going to jump right in and tell you guys a little bit about our voting. Remember that your vote counts. The International Festival is a chance for WMU international and cultural student organizations to win some programming funding. We will give you a chance to vote on your favorite video online once we have all seen all the video submissions for tonight's category. So don't go anywhere. The public poll results will be added to scores assigned by a panel of judges to determine the winning group. Judges have assigned scores based on creativity, flow, and engagement. Now, I'm sure everybody is sitting in their seats hungry with their mouths dripping. So let's jump right into the first video. Take a look at the Indian Student Association. Here we go.
Hello, good evening everyone. I hope you all been alright during the greatest year of all time, because of which we are all here to celebrate this international festival virtually for the very first time in the history, I guess, and I hope it's the last time too. But not to worry, we're still gonna make worth watching it for sure. So we are gonna prep two dishes today, which is one is palak paneer cottage cheese, and palak is spinach and cottage cheese curry. The second one is chole, which is chickpea curry. So here's what we'll need for palak paneer first. Spinach, boiled spinach and cottage cheese paneer, onions, some basic stuff like chilies, ginger, tomatoes, and that's it for the palak chole. Puree of tomato and now we are gonna start cooking.
Well, the food, I think it's very delicious, especially with the Indian food. What do you think, Dahlia?
I really like this video from the Indian Student Association. I feel like colors. I love how they did like the plating, and then they were like the colors of the flag are represented. That was really unique. I really like that about their video and how they kind of just listed all their ingredients, used a lot of ingredients.
Yeah, also, I think everybody likes Indian food. I don't know. That's what I think. So I just want to remind you, remember that your Voice County International Festival is for WMU International and Culture Students Organizations to win some programming funding. We will give you a chance to vote on your favorite video online once we have seen all video submissions for tonight. After the public roll results will be added to a score signed by a panel of judges to determine the winning group. Judges have a signed score based on creativity, flow, and engagement. And the next video is about the International Student Association. Let's take a look.
Hello, everybody, again. Sorry about that video being so choppy. Um, we are working to try to figure out some technical issues, and I'm sure everybody is hopefully used to that by now, but I don't think any of us ever really get used to choppy videos. Uh, but speaking of videos, I want to say all of that food in there looked delicious, and now I'm very hungry. And yeah, let's just keep things moving along so we can all go eat after this, cause I'm starving now.
I agree. Considering how choppy it was, we have discussed and they're going to try to play it again. So hopefully that can properly do that justice, because I swear that was a lot of food that we kind of just chopped out at. So we got to go back, appreciate it more.
Okay, well, it didn't seem to get a whole lot better, but now we've seen the video twice. So hopefully you saw all the little pieces that you might have missed the first time we played it. Uh, Basil, what did you think about the video? Are you any hungrier than you were before?
I think so. It is a really great video, especially with ingredients and how they place it and how they make it. Even when they take a video like that, it was really good. In my opinion, it was a really good video actually. It looks delicious.
Yes, yes, I definitely agree. I just want to give a shout out to all the video editors because I know it takes a lot of time and energy to put into these videos. Not only just the people who are cooking and the people who are eating the food, but the people who are making the videos. Shout out to them because it takes a lot of work.
With that being said, if that was your favorite video, if one, still hasn't caught your eye and you are waiting for another student organization, just remember that your votes are going to count later. So, International Festival is the chance for WMU international and cultural student organizations to win some programming funding. So to do that, you have your chance to vote on who wins tonight. Make sure that you stick around to then vote on your favorite video. But following up, we have our next video, which comes to us from the Korean Student Organization. Let's take a look.
Okay, that looked really good. Uh, Dahlia, you have any thoughts about that one?
Yeah, I really like the attention to detail. At least for me, like when you're going to replicate a recipe, you need step by step, kind of like down to the details. Like, how do you want, especially for like something like this where it's like rolled, like how do you need to cut the ingredients and how do you prep them? So I thought that was really cool how they had so much detail.
Yeah, I think I like how similar to like other cultures certain like things are, and so like you don't really know what cultures use like meat or like what meat they use, and I always think it's interesting when you see a different culture or country that use the same meat that I might use every night, but they do it completely different, and that always surprises me. I think we are gonna try moving forward. Basil, let's talk about voting.
All right. Yeah, I would like to remind you, everyone, that your votes count. The International Festival is a chance for WMU International and Culture student organizations to win some programming funding. We will give you a chance to vote on your favorite videos online once we have seen all video submissions for tonight's category. So don't go anywhere. The public poll result will be added to score assigned by a panel of judges to determine the winning group. Judges have assigned scores based on creativity, flow, and engagement. So the next video, it's gonna be for Latino Student Alliance. Let's take a look.
The Latino Student Alliance welcomes you to learn about Guatemala by sharing some insight into a traditional meal, estofado de puerco. For this meal, you will need the following ingredients: 6 to 8 very red tomatoes, 2 pounds of pork, 2 garlic heads, 1 onion sliced, 2 tablespoons of sesame seeds, 2 tablespoons of pumpkin seeds, 2 chile anchos or dried poblano peppers, 2 small chile guajillo, and salt. Additional items that you will need to cook and prepare this meal include a large pot, a knife, a cutting board, a blender, and a large spoon and tongs. Now that we have our ingredients and cooking items, we can begin to making our estofado de puerco. We will begin by boiling our pork and a sliced onion until the meat is tender. As the pork is boiling, we will also toast the tomatoes with the garlic cloves in a large pan until the peel begins to soften. Once the tomatoes are toasted, you will want to add that to the blender, but do not blend just yet. Next, we will toast the sesame seeds and pumpkin seeds, not too much, but just enough. Add that to the blender as well. At this time, it is best to check on the pork and see if it is ready, and if it is, you will want to lower the heat setting so it stays warm while we finish making the sauce. Next, we will toast the chile ancho and the chile guajillo. Make sure to have a window open for this part because it can be very hard to breathe without proper ventilation. Once it is toasted, you can add this to your blender and begin to blend. Once everything is blended, you can add the sauce to the pork. This next part is optional depending on how watery the sauce may turn out. So if your sauce is still too watery, you can toast white bread and then add it to the sauce and blend it together. Once everything looks good, you are ready to begin serving. Thank you for joining the Latino Student Alliance and making estofado de puerco with us.
Um, we're just working on some technical things in the background right now. While we talk about that technical stuff, or while we talk about the food, while we talk about the food, the technical stuff will be happening in the background. So, Basil, What'd you think about this dish?
Um, it was really good, good dish actually, and it was really so fast. I think it's a simple dish, and I think it's a good. What about you?
I thought the dish looked amazing. I think I never really thought to cook tomatoes like on an actual skillet. So I don't know. I maybe I'll try that next time. It's not the first my first thought when I see a tomato is to put it on a skillet. So I don't know. I clearly people think it's amazing, and so I'm gonna have to try that myself sometime. Okay. So just gonna remind people about voting one more time. Remember that your vote counts. Uh, the International Festival is a chance for WMU and cultural student organizations to win some programming funding. We will give you a chance to vote on your favorite video online once all the videos have been uploaded. So just give me one moment. We're gonna jump to the end. Because of some technical issues, what we'll do is we'll actually upload all of the videos onto YouTube, and then voting will be available for 22 hours. We'll try again to work out all of our glitches and then go live tomorrow.